In a quiet suburban neighborhood where kids rode bikes until the streetlights flickered on and neighbors brought casseroles to new arrivals, there lived a woman named Lisa Reynolds. She was the kind of woman who made life look easy. Her lawn was trimmed, her children well-dressed, and her smile warm and constant. To anyone looking in, Lisa had everything. A loving husband. 3 bright, beautiful children. A supportive church community. A comfortable home. Stability. Peace. But peace can be deceptive. Lisa met Mark when she was 21, working at the church's summer retreat in the mountains. He was magnetic. Older. Confident. A man who quoted scripture with ease and had a grin that could charm an entire congregation. He was leading a men's seminar on strength through faith. She was managing the youth craft tent. He noticed her before she noticed him, or so he said. They shared stories of childhood faith and broken families. His parents were divorced. Hers were devout. They talked long into the night under the stars. He courted her fast, won her trust faster. He'd leave flowers at her porch and Bible verses in her mailbox. He made her feel chosen, like God's plan was unfolding through him. They married within the year. At first, everything felt like a blessing. They had their first child within 2 years. Lisa stayed home. Mark worked in finance. He was respected, even admired. At church, people called them the Reynolds example. She baked pies for every potluck. He led the prayer. The cracks started small. A harsh word in private. A dismissive glance when she spoke in front of others. An apology wrapped in a gift. Lisa, raised to believe marriage was a covenant above all else, prayed harder. She wore longer skirts. Tried to be more agreeable. She never dreamed the real darkness would not be directed at her. It started with her daughter. The youngest, Emily, just 6 at the time, began to draw strange, troubling pictures. Sad faces. Dark figures. Lisa found a drawing tucked beneath her pillow, a stick figure with tears, standing next to a larger figure with angry eyes. When she asked her about it, Emily only whispered, "He told me not to tell." Lisa felt her world tilt. She began to watch closely. Her son flinched when Mark entered the room. Her middle daughter avoided him entirely. She found torn pajamas. Heard cries during the night. Still, she doubted. She begged God to be wrong. But children don't lie like that. Not all 3. Not in the same broken way. She confronted Mark in the kitchen. He denied everything, his face red with rage. He accused her of poisoning their children against him. Of being hysterical. Of trying to destroy their family. That night, she didn't sleep. Instead, she sat on the floor outside her children's bedrooms, watching their doors. She prayed for hours. By morning, she had made her decision. She waited 2 days. Then, in the middle of the night, she walked into their bedroom holding the brass cross from the mantel. Mark was snoring. She stood there for a long time, remembering their wedding day. The vows. The red flags. Her daughter's whispered confession. Then she lifted the cross, and with trembling hands, brought it down. The silence afterward was louder than any scream. She wrapped him in bedsheets. Carried his body to the backyard. Dug with her bare hands until sunrise. She buried him beneath the rose bushes he had always mocked her for planting. When the children woke, she told them Daddy had left for work early. Lisa filed a missing person report 2 weeks later. Told the police he had taken a job offer out of state. She cried. The community comforted her. The police suspected abandonment. The case quietly closed. Time moved forward. Her children grew. Each, in their own way, carried scars. Her son, Jacob, struggled with addiction but eventually found peace in music. Her middle daughter, Rachel, became a therapist, helping other children understand what she once could not say. Emily, the youngest, became an advocate for abused children. They all left home. None asked about their father. Lisa sold the house when the youngest went to college. Downsized to a small cottage with a garden. Took up quilting. Joined a Bible study. Her smile returned, but it was smaller. Softer. She was happy to fade into the background. Decades passed. Then came the phone call. The new owners of her old home were doing landscaping. A contractor dug up what he thought were animal bones. The police were called. Tests were run. The remains were confirmed human. Dental records confirmed the identity. Lisa was arrested without incident. Her mugshot showed an older woman, weary but calm. Her eyes were heavy with things she had not spoken. The news spread like wildfire. The headline read, "Churchwoman accused of killing missing husband from 20 years ago." Neighbors were shocked. Some called her a monster. Others called her a martyr. The congregation rallied. They raised money. Held bake sales. Created a legal fund. Not because they thought she was innocent, but because they believed she had been failed. Her pastor stood at the pulpit and said, "We do not condone murder. But we do know Lisa. And we believe in mercy." David Elias was 27, fresh out of law school, and terrified. He had never argued in front of a jury. Never spoken to a judge outside of mock trials. But he had known Lisa since childhood. She had taught his Sunday school class. Held him when his grandmother died. He remembered her bringing soup to his mother after her surgery. He remembered her kindness. The trial was brutal. The prosecutor painted her as calculating. Said she killed her husband in cold blood. Called it first-degree murder. Capital. Death penalty. David struggled at first. Fumbled over objections. Missed cues. He stayed up every night reading case law, watching old trial videos, trying to learn how to fight for her life. His hands trembled every morning before court. But he kept showing up. When it was time for Lisa to speak, the courtroom fell silent. She didn't ask for pity. She told the truth. Every detail. Every fear. Every prayer. She spoke of the drawings. The nightmares. The moment her daughter said, "He told me not to tell." And then she said this, "I knew I could live with what I did. But I couldn't live with letting him hurt them again." Jurors sobbed. The judge turned away. Even the prosecutor seemed to pause. Rachel, her middle daughter, took the stand in rebuttal. She told the court how she had tried for years to forget the way her father smelled when he entered her room. How she hated the color of the roses in the backyard. How she had wanted to die as a child. And how her mother had given her back her life. They deliberated for hours. They returned with a verdict, guilty of voluntary manslaughter. Not murder. Not death. She was sentenced to 5 years. Eligible for parole in 18 months. And the roses? They bloom again. Not in that yard. But in the hearts of every child she saved. Today, Lisa teaches art therapy in prison. She leads a healing group for women who live through domestic violence. Her children visit her every week. David Elias now works as a defense attorney for women in crisis. He still tells her story to every intern he trains. Because sometimes, justice doesn't come in a courtroom. Sometimes, it comes from a mother willing to do the unthinkable to protect the innocent.
Thanks for watching. Please tune into my next video, The Devil's Advocate, The Trial of Sister Agnes. I look forward to seeing you there. Take care. Love, London.